What's your I can't believe other people don't do this hack? Story 1. I keep one of those dish cleaning wands you fill with soap in my shower. It's filled with Dawn soap and vinegar. I scrub my shower walls and tub basically every other shower just while I'm in there. It takes less than 2 minutes and I never have to clean my tub shower otherwise. About 2x/year I'll do a Comet tub clean scrub, but I can't even tell a difference. It's mostly just for peace of mind. Story 2. Using sturdy trash bags in camping and outdoor activities. It's the most advanced cheap material there is. You can use it as backpack liner, as rain cover, as poncho, as sitting pad, can transport water with it, use it as extra shopping bag. It's so versatile and so lightweight. And more sturdy construction-grade trash bags are not that loud and quiet sturdy. Story 3. Do favors for tomorrow you. Car getting low on gas? Do tomorrow you a favor and get it on the way home. It's almost bedtime, but there are dishes in the sink. Do them as a favor to your future self. While you're at it, get tomorrow's clothes together and get your lunch packed when you're not rushed. Tomorrow you will love you for it. And when today you is enjoying all the things that yesterday you did to make your life easier, remember to thank yourself for doing it. I know it sounds silly, but this really helped motivate me in getting stuff done promptly instead of at the last moment. Story 4. Buy her just because flowers. Seriously. Apology gifts always have the stank of the original mistake all over them. Just because gifts actually make her smile every time she looks at them and not think of the thing I did. Edit, because apparently you can't talk about a nice thing you do without people attempting to make you feel like shit for no good reason. This post is not gender exclusive or exclusive to just your partner. I can't believe I'm typing this. Story 5. Do I need or do I want? If I need it, I get it. If I want it, I wait for a few weeks, do some research, see if I can fit it in, and if I still want it a month or two later, then I might go get it. Turns out my wants are not always there after a while waiting. It's new for me, but has changed my mindset drastically. Story 6. Put salt and pepper on their burger patties. I swear I have the same conversation every time I host a cookout. Your burgers always taste so good. Salt and pepper. How did you learn to make them? I put a little salt and pepper on them before cooking. I could never get my burgers to taste right. Have you tried salt and pepper? Edit. Okay. This resonated with Redditors more than I expected. Thanks for all your tips. Rest assured that I have tried all of them. Garlic powder, onion powder, various pre-made spice mixes, olive oil, Worcestershire sauce. I even put an egg in a batch once because someone said it would hold them together better. I like salt and pepper on fresh beef. Obviously, it comes down to personal preference, but I find simple recipes are often the best. Story 7. I struggle with cleaning, but what I tend to do so I don't get overwhelmed is write out a list numbered 1 to 20 of tasks I need to complete. I break it up into small pieces, and then I roll a d20 die to pick tasks off the list. It removes the overwhelm of deciding where to start, and it keeps me on task so I'm not bouncing between 5 different tasks at once. I also usually add things like drink water or check laundry if I don't have a full 20 things to complete. Story 8. When handing someone their change, give them the coins before the bills. This allows them to hold the coins in their palm while using their fingers for the bills. Otherwise, they have to do this careful balancing act before they pocket the money. Story 9. For household essentials, buy more than you need right away. Example, I have 2 packs of toilet paper rolls. One is now, and I store it in the bathroom. The other is later, and I store it in a closet. When now is empty, I get out later. Later becomes the new now. And next time I go shopping, I buy a replacement later. That way, I very rarely run out of anything. Story 10. When tech stops working and you need to turn it off and back on again, turn it off, and always wait 10-15 seconds or more before turning it back on. This allows the capacitors inside holding the memory bits to fully discharge, and it allows the device to fully reset fresh. Story 11. Storing things in airtight containers. I spent a lot of money on mine, so I get why people can't do it, but I've moved a lot and some of the places had bugs, which I've been able to prevent carrying along with me. Honestly, I was pretty poor when I started doing this. Bought stuff bit by bit. Story 12. I see people doing wild mental math trying to figure out tips. If you move the decimal one place to the left, you have 10% double that for 20%, divide it by 2, and add it to the original number for 15%. You can get 1% by moving the decimal 2 to the left and multiply that by any number to get that percentage. Edit. Damn people, no need to get so aggressive. It's a math tip that helps me. I'm not telling you how to tip or even commenting on tipping in society, just math. Story 13. If you are going to use fresh herbs in a recipe, rosemary, thyme, oregano, etc., bloom them first. Get the pan up to temp, add either your oil or some butter. Once it's hot or melted, throw in the herbs. Once you can smell them, takes about 45 sec to a min, add the rest of your ingredients. Story 14. I've rented so many cars over my lifetime because I love to travel. Don't rent at the airport. They are the most expensive rates you'll find in the city. Find the smallest rental location in the city. Reserve a subcompact online for a cheap rate. When you show up at the location, they won't have the car, and you'll get a free upgrade. If you need a specific car, rent at the airport. They have the highest selection. Talk to your insurance agent. But if you currently have full coverage, it could extend to the rental. If it's excluded, you can buy rental coverage on the cheap from your agent. The damage waiver and insurance from the rental agency is expensive, way more than you would spend from your agent. The insurance benefit offered from Visa is worthless. You will spend the better part of a year trying to collect. All the while, the Visa administrator will find ways they don't have to pay. Take a short 20-sec video of the car when you pick it up. Just walk around it. That way you can document any previous damage. Story 15. It's not that impressive, but as a kid living with parents, we had a day dedicated to cleaning, usually a Saturday or Sunday. And it meant I couldn't go out with friends or anything like that because I was cleaning. Now I'm an adult. I know I can just do 10 mins every day and get on with my life, lol. I'll never understand taking a whole day to clean. What a bore. Story 16. Only ever buy on kind of socks that way. I never have to match them after the wash. Just throw them all in the drawer. And if one gets hole in it, you don't need to throw out the pair. Just throw it away and stock up on more of the same sock when running low. I really hate folding socks. Story 17. Keyboard shortcuts. I'm baffled by people who work with a keyboard day in and day out, and I never see them using the ingenious shortcuts. Here are some shortcuts besides cutting and pasting. Tab moves you to the next input box or selectable link. Shift plus Tab for the previous box. Home and End keys move your cursor to the end of line/sentence. Use this in combination with Shift, Shift plus Home, and Shift plus End. You can highlight entire lines of text. And this one is my favorite. Ctrl plus Shift plus left/right. You can highlight word by word. You can also avoid using Shift to jump the cursor word by word. Ctrl plus left/right. To add on to that last one, you use Ctrl plus backspace or delete to delete word by word. Save yourself time and the arthritis, learn the keyboard. If on Windows and have shortcuts on your taskbar, you can press Super Windows key +1, 9, and you will open the first, second, third, etc. application you have on your taskbar, whichever is first, second, and so on respectively. Story 18. If I finish a roll of toilet paper and there isn't a replacement, I put the empty roll on the closed toilet lid, so the next person has to physically move it and recognize the roll is empty before they go. Did it at a small coffee shop where my friend had already told the employee they were running low, and it blew people's minds. Story 19. It's not a big one by any means, but anytime I listen to videos on my phone at home, I put it in a cup to make it louder because the sound vibration bounces off of the cup, and it actually makes it louder. If you don't have a cup, you can put it against the wall. It's the same concept. Story 20. Get a credit card with good rewards and use it for everyday purchases. Then immediately pay down your credit card every week or so to avoid interest rates. My husband and I almost exclusively use our credit card and have been able to use the points to book flights, rental cars, hotels, spa services, lots of things we wouldn't normally splurge on. Story 21. Well, this is probably and maybe just for older people. I have an unreasonable amount of prescription meds. The bottles, of course, essentially all look alike. And since I'm 68, my eyesight is crap. So I write an abbreviation on the top of the med cap, Sharpie or plastic marker. You know, like A for antibiotic. So I don't have to pick up every damn bottle every damn time to squint at the 4-point font on the label. Story 22. Yield to faster traffic so that people can tailgate you. Stop getting so mad that people are riding your ass when you won't get over and allow them to pass. You don't get to bitch about something you have direct control over and just choose not to do. Story 23. The power of whack it all in a frying pan and throw in a sauce meals. I eat home-cooked meals almost daily and often get asked how I have the time, energy, and money. I'm just smart about it. Every time I cook, I get at least 3 individual meals out of it. There's so many recipes that lend themselves to freezing for long periods of time. Making a batch of cookie dough? Double it. Freeze the other half in a long tube to cut up and bake. Curries, chilies, pasta sauces, stews, and stir-fries are a lazy, low-fun cook's best friend. You can't tell vegetables are frozen when they've been fried or cooked down in a sauce or simmered. There are also recipes that lend themselves well to the addition of chickpeas, lentils, beans, etc., which are very cheap and high sources of protein and fiber. Sauces are also generally very cheap and deal with most of the flavor profile for those who aren't proficient cooks. You can also pair them with anything: baked potato, fries, rice, quinoa, pasta, Whack it in a wrap. The possibilities are endless. Story 24. Mine is using vehicle brokers. Apparently, people who have heard about it just assume it's for rich people buying sports cars. My wife and I just used one for the first time for her new car. He found us the exact same car we were looking for $200 cheaper a month and $1,000 less down payment. Edit. Also for the same amount of time financing. Story 25. Sharpening their knives. The sheer amount of people I've seen trying to cut something with a knife as sharp as circle never ceases to amaze me. It's so much more dangerous and hell to deal with. Learn how to use a whetstone or call a pro out once every few months. Story 26. I was surprised to find that many people don't realize that in the US, you can still use antennae to watch local stations. Just go to settings and search for digital channels. I remember even back when it was announced that all TV broadcasts would switch from analog to digital. People were buying digital tuners but weren't aware that even then many newer models already had digital tuners built in. Now I get the sense that people feel they're dependent on streaming services or cable satellite. If you're just trying to watch a game or catch a debate on a local channel, you can still watch it in your TV. Story 27. I always keep a small notebook with me everywhere I go, like it sounds old school, but writing down ideas, things I need to do, or random thoughts helps me stay organized and remember stuff later. Plus, it clears my mind when I feel overwhelmed. I can't believe more people don't do this. Story 28. Drink water. I know so many people who don't like the taste of plain water because all they drink is soda and flavored drinks. Water is delicious, and if they stopped or cut down on the flavored stuff, maybe they'd be able to appreciate plain water. And if you're trying to up your water intake, I 100% recommend getting a bottle with a straw or sippy spout. My water intake tripled when I swapped my Nalgene for a Stanley, especially during the workday. Story 29. Pour grease from the skillet into an empty tin can, which then goes in the freezer. When full, toss it away and start a new collection. So much better than calling the plumber multiple times per year because you haven't learned the hot grease poured down the kitchen sink doesn't just wash away. Story 30. Leave a sponge in the shower and clean one wall or surface each time you take a shower. Stops it from being a big task all at once. Bring my own pillowcase to hotels and other overnight stays. Fold it inside out so that the part you put your face on stays clean. Get some collapsible silicone food containers. I love this one. I originally bought them for travel, so they are great for trips when space is scarce. Keep snacks, and when you're done, you just collapse it down to about an inch tall. Bring them to restaurants so you can save some food for later back at the hotel hostel, and take them on a cruise so you can fill them up at the buffet to have something to eat in your room later. Using a handheld fan to dry your skincare or makeup setting spray. I only use freshly clean hands to apply skincare, so one hand can use the fan and the other stays clean for moisturizer. Make your grocery list in the order that you will walk through the store. In my Aldi, for example, the layout goes bread, fruit, veg, cheese, meat, frozen, dairy. I make my list in that exact order and grab everything respectively as I walk through. Story 31. Prepaid cell phone plan. My wife and I bought our iPhones unlocked last time from Costco, and our monthly bill is $70 including taxes. My plan is 15 GB, $35. Hers is unlimited, $30. We don't have to pay the ridiculous monthly access fee with a postpaid plan that you're on the hook for, even after your phone installments are paid off. Story 32. Plug in a device charger in every room you spend extended amounts of time in. Kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living room, etc. I always forget to bring one with me, so now I have one in every room I frequent. Put keys, gloves, hats, umbrellas, all your out-the-door forgettable things on a shelf or furniture by the door, all in one place. If you carry a satchel, purse, or whatever, some great essentials to pack are your obvious things, keys, wallet, and so on, but also device charger, portable charging battery, cash for emergency taxi, bus, a handkerchief and travel pack of tissue, Ziploc baggie, hand sanitizer, and earplugs. Yes, earplugs. Screaming babies are everywhere. When it comes to flights and bus rides, your sanity will thank you. When visiting remote cities and other places with public transit, avoid Uber, taxi, and car rentals if you can. Taking local transit will save you hundreds of dollars. If traveling abroad, take a Megabus Flix bus, USA, not available in all cities, to save big time. It's far cheaper than taking a train or flight, albeit super annoying and time-consuming. I visited a friend 250 miles away for $25 round trip, but if you can get a good deal on flights, go for it and take earplugs for screaming kids. Buying books through Abe Books is cheaper than buying at big retail stores, and the shipping is often cheaper than the book itself. I recently bought a cookbook for $3, and the shipping was like $1.50. If you have a local used bookshop or library, then go there. Obviously, LOL. If your knees bother you, spend dollar on a good pair of knee braces, such as Nienka brand. I survived a car wreck last year that ed me up, and wearing those braces for a few months made a huge difference in my daily life. A good sturdy knee brace goes much further than cheapo ones, but work with what you have access to. LOL. My favorite cooking tool is the humble tomato corer. I'd heck about you, but using a knife to core a tomato pisses me off. Corers make life so much easier. If you're using a recipe that calls for cooking and reducing milk for an extended amount of time, like 40 minutes according to some recipes, try swapping it out with half and half or cream. It will cut your cooking time down significantly. Took my 40-minute milk recipe down to 10 minutes lol. USA. If you're applying for disability on your own and run into many barriers, look up a disability attorney who takes payment on approval. They will take their payment on your dispersal, usually a percentage. And if you do not get approved, they won't take a payment at all. YMV, ask them about how they charge. I mention this because disability in America is designed to deny people in need. It's complicated to navigate, and clinics like mine will often trick you into thinking you do not qualify. Clinics do not approve or deny disability claims. That is up to the court. It's a dirty trick, and this stuff messes up many people who need help. If you or a loved one are on Medicare and cannot live independently, check with the case manager about getting caregivers. Yes, even friends and family members can qualify to become paid caregivers. This varies depending on where you live. Where I live, caregivers are paid by the state, and we have paid training and many benefits. We have a union that really helps out a ton. Plus, the training you get, medicine administration, first aid, CPR, etc., are transferable skills in a field with chronic worker shortages. It's hard but rewarding work. Volunteering for charity work looks fantastic on a resume and will give you an edge with job hunting. Hiring managers eat that shit up, and you can do a lot of good for your community. If you do not have a degree, you can get training and certifications online for cheap in the field you want to work in. While it's not a degree, it at least shows your hiring manager that you are trying to build your skills and prepare for that field of work. Story 33. How to cheat hack. Listen, I've been using this method for years and I never got caught. I've also noticed that some of the head TAs and smart kids also cheat their way through with this method. If you follow these easy steps, nobody will ever notice. First, go to every lecture and make a cheat sheet. During the lecture, don't waste your time fiddling with your phone. Stay focused. Next, go to discussion and really refine that cheat sheet. For everybody else, it will look like you're just taking notes. Now here comes the sneaky part. Approximately 2 weeks before the exam, gather all the cheat sheets you made and hide it in your brain. If your brain is too small for all the cheat sheets, try to split the notes into pieces and try to put them in bit by bit. It is also important that if your brain is full, go to bed and let it digest for 7-8 hours and you're good to go again. I promise you it worked every time and nobody will ever notice and you'll get easy A's. Story 34. Regular old grocery store ribeye steak on a cast iron or stainless skillet. Remove from fridge and salt it a few couple hours before cooking. Then add pepper, garlic salt, and seasoned salt. Preheat skillet on med-high heat. Add avocado oil. Hold the steak upright, cooking the fatty edge for 1 minute first. Then, just 1.5 minutes aside for medium rare, 2 minutes if it's a thick steak. Right before flipping, add butter and garlic to pan and baste the steak. No need for sear or reverse sear in oven unless it's a really thick steak. Prep plus cooking takes less than 10 minutes and it tastes better than a $75 steak at a nice restaurant. My wife refuses to go to a restaurant for a steak because it's expensive and never lives up to the ribeye steaks we make at home. I feel like I found some sort of cheat code. Story 35. When you're trying to get into a homeless shelter, they'll likely be full. That's not the hack, but if you ask to be put on the waiting list early in the morning and come back 30 minutes to an hour from bed check, the shelter can tell you when that is. Then wait until after bed check is complete. You will likely have a bed. What most people don't know is that beds become available at shelters almost every day due to people getting kicked out. The reasons can range from getting kicked out due to or violence, missing bed check, or just getting booked out due to the shelter not being able to justify keeping you, most likely because you haven't shown any reason to, such as looking for a place, a job. For the best results, look up when your local welfare, Ontario Works for those living in Ontario, is paid out. Lots of addicts and alcoholics will be out having benders, so their beds will be empty. Story 36. Use an ad blocker for S sake. I will never understand how most of you are out there just raw dogging ads all day, every day. I've gotten to the point where the only ads I encounter are on billboards. What the is wrong with you people? How do you allow this trash to infest your lives? Story 37. I'm surprised more women don't shop for clothing basics in the men's section. It obviously doesn't work for every body type, but men's socks are so much better and warmer than the ones in the women's section. Men's t-shirts are made of thicker fabric. Men's sweaters and hoodies are so thick and comfortable. I buy all my comfy clothes from the men's section. Story 38. I wear my vacuum cleaner on my back like a backpack asterisk so it frees me up for easier maneuvering. I'm in the UK and I have a cylinder vacuum cleaner, which is shaped like a backpack anyway, with a hose coming out of the top part, in case anyone doesn't know what that is. Our house is old, with uneven floors and many different obstacles. Almost every room in the house is on a different level. One step down from the living room to the dining room, another step down to the kitchen, half a step from living room to hallway, one step down from stair landing into bedroom. So a robot vacuum isn't really a viable solution. I just attached a couple of old belts through the handle at the top so I can strap it on my back like I'm going hiking, and off I go. I can do the whole, admittedly quite small house using only 3 plug power sockets, and I don't have to worry about it bashing into the furniture or getting caught on a dining chair or whatever. It has small wheels on casters, which you're supposed to use for wheeling it around on the floor, but that's so primitive. They're positioned unobtrusively once I'm wearing it, so it works well for me. Join me, everyone! Asterisk, more like a Ghostbusters proton pack. I'm a middle-aged woman. Story 39. When I go through TSA at the airport, I just grab my stuff after the scan and walk like 10, 20 feet to a bench to put on my shoes and stow the laptop, etc. Drives me nuts to watch people basically camp out at the conveyor to get fully redressed and repacked, etc., blocking everyone else. Pick up your shit and move. It's the same as stopping at the bottom of an escalator. Everyone else is coming down too. GTFO the way. Story 40. I once read someone say on Reddit, slow is steady and steady is fast. And that's always stuck with me. If I'm doing something for a long period and begin to find it hard or annoying, I'll take a break and come back, but do it a lot slower. After a bit, I kind of forget I'm working IR, whatever. It goes by faster, honestly. Story 41. If you have a washer dryer available, do all of your laundry every day. In my house of 3, we do 1 load with everything in it every night. Fold and put away in the morning. Bed sheets on Sunday. Anything else as it comes up. I've had people act like I'm from Mars or something because I always have clean clothes and don't spend hours once a week doing a simple chore that can easily be a part of the daily routine. Story 42. I hate writing performance reviews, especially when I have to self-evaluate. I also hate writing and submitting recognition for my peers as dictated by the corporate policy. So I use ChatGPT for that. Sure, edit like crazy so it doesn't look like a performance review from Edgar Allan Poe. In the dim corridors of our daily toil, where shadows of burden oft grow long and heavy, there stands one among us who, with noble heart and quiet grace, has lifted the weight that was not his to bear. He, with hands unbidden by duty's call, has taken upon himself tasks most grievous, tasks that might have sunk lesser souls into despair's abyss. Yet through his selfless toil and like a guiding beacon in the thick of night, he has brought light where there was darkness and order where there was disarray. In this act of quiet valor, he has proven not just his worth but his boundless spirit. For this, we give our deepest thanks, knowing well that his deeds shall echo in the chambers of our memory, a testament to his unwavering dedication. Story 43. A lot of these answers remind me of some of the best advice I've ever received. Don't wait for motivation. Waiting until we feel inspired to do something we don't otherwise want to do is weird. Just do the thing. I say this as someone who has struggled with depression in these last 5 years. I've had days where I didn't shower and nearly got called out for avoiding my job for a couple of days at a time. Thankfully, I work remote and had lots of trust built up before my struggles. I'm on the other side of it. I still have hard days, but like 3/10 hard, not 8/10 hard. I just write this to point out that I know how hard it is to make yourself do something, but waiting for motivation is even worse. Story 44. Using a large 55-inch TV as my PC monitor, rather than sticking it out with a 30-inch or whatever. I've been on a TV as monitor since 2010 when I lugged a laptop to brick-and-mortar stores to figure out which displays could give me both low latency and 4:4, 4-color, only 2 very specific LG models in 2010. Now every gamer friend and family member does the same thing as me, and low latency, 4:4, 4 are bog standard. The only thing a monitor would give me that's meaningfully better than what a TV can give me today is refresh rates above 144, which I won't care about for years because I don't play Counter-Strike, and what I do play tends to be demanding enough that at 4K 120 is asking a lot and 4K 60 is the sweet spot. This TV's latency is 5 ms, and you simply don't go back after experiencing the visceral experience of all that FOV in gaming, or all that screen real estate and productivity. Bonus, it provides the best HDR display money can currently buy, even though it was actually cheaper than any properly good monitor. So when it's time to watch a 4K HDR movie, I'm golden. Story 45. Once I had to get some dust off my keyboard but didn't have that compressed can air. Yes, those selling it do check for ID, which happened to me a few times. However, I did have a bike pump. I figured, well, it can be used to blow dust out. Sure, I had to keep on one on the pump and another one the hose, but it worked. Use this method when clearing out the filter on my air conditioner. Story 46. Cleaning your dishes right after you dirty them. I worked as a dishwasher in a restaurant for a while, and you could literally clean 2 pallets of dishes in about 2 minutes because freshly dirtied dishes are infinitely easier to clean than dishes with dried-on food. You know how much easier a mac and cheese pot is to clean while it's still warm from the stove? Plus, this way, dishes never pile up because you take a moment after cooking to clean them, rather than say, hey, I'll do it later. Story 47. I don't understand people who clean on the weekends. Whatever days your weekend is, clean your house beforehand and relax. My weekend is Saturday and Sunday, so I clean/dust/vacuum a room or two each day, Monday, Thursday. Takes maybe 30 minutes. Friday night home from work, house is clean. Story 48. You don't have to wait until the person ringing your groceries up finishes before you insert your card. You can just tap/insert/swipe while they're doing it, and the machine will wait until they're done before processing your payment. It only saves like 15 seconds, but it's kind of silly people just stand there staring at the clerk, holding their card for the right moment. Story 49. I'm severely lactose intolerant, to the point where if I eat anything that contains lactose, I will get seizures from the stomach pain. My dietitian advised me to get lactase supplements that you take before eating a meal or snack that contains lactose. And just like that, no issues at all. The amount of time I hear other lactose intolerant people talk about how they just have lactose and deal with the consequences when there is this really easy and helpful supplement surprises me so much. Some people haven't even heard of these supplements. Story 50. Walking for free exercise. It's not exactly a rare method of being active, but I think people vastly underestimate how effective it is if you walk a couple miles every day. It's surprisingly good at burning calories. It builds leg and core muscles. It's relaxing, especially in nature. You get to know your local environment and community. It's difficult to make excuses to not do it, and getting better at it just makes living your life easier. People fight over the parking spots close to the store, while I like to park in the back, get some bonus exercise, and collect my thoughts. I've made walking my dog in the evenings a ritual where we go to dinner at local restaurants with outdoor seating. And I love it. I get to eat great food, enjoy fresh air. And yeah, I'm spending more money than I need to, but it's still cheaper than the gym. Story 51. For my ADHD people, bucket cleaning. Get a medium-sized bucket, trash can, etc., and dump everything that doesn't belong in a room in the bucket. The mess is immediately gone. You have it all in one bucket, and it's so much easier to go from room to room with a singular bucket than several trios back and forth with small handfuls of stuff. Clothes, keys, paperwork, bag of groceries you never brought upstairs in the bucket. Everything in the bucket. So much easier. I love bucket. Story 52. Make your own food. Several of my coworkers spend a lot on Uber Eats or local restaurants, and on top of that, usually complain about the quality of the food and the servings. On the other side, I go to my local market on weekends, buy fresh food, meat, vegetables, and fruit, and I'm set for the week. I've also lose weight by cutting sugars and other carbs. I have a healthier diet and don't spend as much as they. They mention that they don't have time to do all that, but I spend like 1 hour buying and 1 hour daily preparing everything for the next day. Story 53. Set tiny goals. You must write them down, else it's too easy to ignore, forget them, and constantly achieve and set new ones. The dopamine reward system and associated endogenous opioid and cannabinoid recenter systems are perfectly happy to be trained on small goals, and with small, constantly achieved ones, that reward system will be a lot more functional for you than if you constantly set huge goals, struggle very hard towards them, yet often fail and feel a huge regret, wasted time. You can make your body have good habits just the way it can have bad ones. Repetition plus routine, frequently and consistently. Story 54. I've had multiple people now tell me they never would have thought of this, but the bachelor hack where you put a frozen pizza in directly on the rack to cook. Then when it's done, folding the pizza box flat to use as a pizza paddle to get it back out of the oven without getting any other dishes dirty. Then just cut it on the box. At worst, you get one knife dirty. Story 55. As a dad of many years, use a pizza cutter for more things. Pizza cutter. Pancakes, pizza cutter. Waffles, pizza cutter. No crust on your bread, pizza cutter. Your spaghetti is too long, pizza cutter. The possibilities are endless. Over the span of 4 kids and many years, it saves a lot of time and mess. Every time I see someone cutting a pancake or waffle up for a kid using a fork and knife, I let them in on this trick. Also, it's much easier for a kid to cut up things that way than with a knife or fork. Story 56. Cleaning dishes. If you have a container that had residue of a sauce that is fatty or stains, if the container was plastic and if there was turmeric, chili, paprika, curry, or olive oil, for instance. Also for when you want to clean plastic without leaving a layer of greasy film on the plastic container, especially in the corners. Don't add any water first. Instead, use a small amount of dish detergent and smear it around the container over the top of all of the stain/sauce/oil. The grease in the soap binds to the grease in the sauce. Rub the detergent everywhere, then add water. The sauce will melt off and be removed really easily, and the plastic container will be clean without any trace of residue of the oil or sauce. Great for plastic containers that had homemade pasta sauces, lasagnas, or just salad bowls that contain dressings like French dressing. Adding the water first, then the detergent makes it far harder to clean than is necessary. Add the detergent to the container/fry pan/pot first, clean, and then rinse with water. So much easier. If there is excess fat in my frying pan, I first get out as much as possible with a paper towel so it doesn't clog up the drain. Then I add the detergent, clean the container, then the water. Perfect every time. Story 57. Get in shape. Literally a super hack. Especially if you live where a good percentage of people are overweight. It is so damn easy to do. It's not hard at all. People are unwilling to accept they're just lazy and weak and come up with a million excuses to lie to themselves. Hard is training for war, then getting on a boat knowing you will be mowed down by machine guns as you exit, but still having the courage to do that. Thank goodness I have never been in that kind of situation. Stopping yourself from overeating, eating poorly, and working out is not hard. Downvotes because people are in denial, Omao. Story 58. Mine has to be putting loaves of bread in the fridge. It greatly extends its life before it molds, so you can eat it throughout the month or longer, rather than a week. No change in taste or anything. If you tend to buy the 2-in-1 loaves at Costco Sam's Club, you can put one in the fridge and one in the freezer for longer-term storage. Whenever you finish the first, just let the second thaw and drop it in the fridge. Story 59. Online grocery shopping. Our shop of choice has a £5 delivery subscription, which means for £5 per month, a person will pick out all of my shopping and deliver it to me in a window of an hour. We normally get Saturday morning deliveries, but you can get deliveries until about 10 p.m. So the cost for a person to pick, pack, and deliver is around £1.25 per week. We've got kids, and the hassle of dragging them around a supermarket was always bad. Admittedly, less so now since they're older. We started it when our first kid was born and just kept it going. I hate supermarkets, and this saves me about 2 hours of self-loathing per week. Story 60. I have 2 checking accounts. The Fist A is for direct deposit, my debit card, paying bills online, writing checks, etc., and the other B is just to keep money safe. So my entire paycheck is deposited into checking account A. I transfer most of it to checking account B. Then when I need to spend money, I can transfer money from B to A. But if A was to ever be compromised, like lost debit card, data hack, etc., I can transfer all the money to B and not have to worry. The important thing is that I don't use B for anything, so the number's not out there anywhere. No debit card, no checks, only the bank, and I know it exists. Story 61. Mine is, as a gamer, live one. 2 years in the past, at least for single-player games. They'll be on sale much cheaper, if you keep an eye on. Be patched and working. All the game info will be readily available, as in, game wikis and guides will have detailed walkthroughs for everything. And often there will be free skins, DLCs thrown in. I bought Baldur's Gate 3 a month ago or so, got CP 2077 when it was cheap and fixed, etc. You save time and money and maximize enjoyment. Edit also means I can run a gaming PC with a $200 GPU instead of a $500 one. Story 62. Have a bank account just for bills. Add up all the annual expenses that you can think of, except for maybe groceries and fuel. Then convert that into the frequency that you get paid, e.g., divide by 12 for monthly, and set up an automatic transfer every payday to transfer that amount into the bills account. You might not have much left over, but you know that you won't get overwhelmed by 2 or 3 annual or quarterly bills that come up within a month every so often. Story 63. Keeping a small baggie of plastic spoons and forks in your glove compartment, so if they don't give you a utensil in the drive-thru and you don't want to go back in, or they're out in the store, you have one. Also handy for picnics if you forget something. If you have to carry something heavy, Not like mini fridge heavy like old cans or lots of shoes, etc. Put them in a laundry basket with handles and carry it that way. Easier to carry that way than a bag MO, and you can fit a lot without it breaking. Depending on the bug to be fair, but if a bug is bothering your plants, a lot seem to hate dryer sheets and they will repel them. Also, diatomaceous earth will stop things from coming into your house as easily. Also, not sure if anyone else struggled with this, haha. But in my house, we have a tiny basket near the door we put our reusable grocery bags in, so that every time we leave the house, we don't forget to take them to the car. Story 64. Since COVID, you can almost find hand sanitizer anywhere, especially in bathrooms. Some people don't like using public toilets, so they line the seat with TP. Big waste. Enter bathroom, hand sanitizer pooled in hand, get some TP from the dispenser, dip TP in hand sanitizer, clean the seat with said TP, use the rest of the sanitizer on your hands. Enjoy your experience with the peace of mind that your butt is not touching someone else's. Story 65. Whenever I notice items I purchase on more of a sporadic basis, for example, conditioner, salad dressing, trash bags, tin foil, etc., are getting low, I add it to the reminders app on my phone. This way, I have a running list and can pick them up before they're completely out. I've gotten better at putting it on my list early so that I have flexibility to wait for it to go on sale if needed, and I avoid the frustration of running out of something mid-use, and then I'm mad there's not enough ketchup for my very adult chicken nugget dinner. It's satisfying having the backup on hand as something runs out. Story 66. There's certain points in life where the chance of leaving something behind has a higher likelihood than normal. For example, people at work when using the bathroom tend to leave their jackets, hoodies there by accident. There's a very simple method I use in these situations to guarantee I can't possibly forget the item in question. I arrange it such that it's between me and my exit from the situation. With the bathroom example, I take my hoodie off as well, and what I do is I hang it on the relevant hook, but then I deliberately fold the sleeve over the doorknob. No matter how inattentive I am, there's no way I can ignore that I have to remove the sleeve before I can get out of the bathroom. A story 67. Use automatic withdrawals on payday to save money. If you're broke, like I was when I started, only save the amount of what you would spend on something without thinking. I'd blow $20 on a couple of drinks out without thinking about it. When it comes out on payday, you've paid yourself first, and now you can control your spending by watching your balance. But you started out on the right foot. When I get a raise, I increase the amount of my automatic savings by my new raise. When I made less, would split it so I had more comfort day to day, and my savings was increasing. When I paid off debt, like a car payment, I would increase my savings by the amount of the payment because I was already used to the lifestyle of making those payments. Use an online bank like Ally or Cap One 360 to set up buckets where this money goes. Need a new car? Those payments that are now savings go to the next car down payment fund. Know your laptop is going to need to be replaced in 2 years? Drop that money into a new laptop account and set a reminder 2 years from now when it's fully funded. It's how I built an emergency fund, stopped increasing debt when something bad happened, saved for big purchases, etc. It brought so much peace of mind to me and my spouse that stressing about money became a thing of the past. Now our automatic savings are automatic investments that are shaving the time off when we retire.